Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how we're going to be pulling mailing addresses and owner names. And this project will also consist of two parts. I am going to go over the first part first. And we do have about so you see this list. I'm essentially going to give you a PDF file and I'm going to ask you to type in about 140 records that I have left. So this is the PDF and it's gonna start at page 84. So it's gonna be page 84 to 89. I estimate that it's gonna be 140 records left to type. So it's not that much really. It should take probably about half an hour, not really that long. And you're just gonna type in this address right here, 2305 Northeast 12th Street. For this, you can just copy paste. This is the category, and it's the category no long. It won't change. It'll always be high and widths. The previous ones were it changed, but these ones you don't have to worry about that. You just can just copy paste the column, so you essentially wouldn't no need to worry about typing that. You will just copy paste it, and then you have to put in the date 9/13/2017 to 9/13/2017. Well, I messed it up there. And you're gonna go ahead and do that for all the rest of the records. As I said, 84 to 89. So, okay, that's the first part of the project. Shouldn't take really that long. I estimate that it takes about 4 records per minute, about. So you should be doing maybe 3, I guess, maybe 3 to 4 records per minute to type it in, because you really don't have to do this part. It's just this and this, and then you can just drag it down, or whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. So now the second part of the project. This part we're gonna be finding the last name and first name of the owner, as well as the mailing address, the mailing city, mailing state, mailing city. So I'm gonna give you a link to the county's assessor website, which is this link right here. And that's how you're going to be finding the information that I'm requesting you to find. On the left hand side, you're going to find the search. Right here, you're going to click on search. And then you have to go here to address. Once you find the address, the county website will ask you for the address number, address direction, and address street. I really don't use this field that much, but you might actually need to change it if the spreadsheet is specifying it. So, but you will mostly be working with these two fields. So let me show you an example. When we go back to the spreadsheet, we have this address, 205 South Bristol. Now go back here. Now I know it's south, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Now, as you may notice, it just populated. I didn't have to put in the S. But let's say that there's a north and a south. Obviously, you would have to choose the one that says south. So just be careful. If you don't want to type in the middle box, anything in the middle box, that's fine. Just pay attention to what you're clicking on. So this is the information that we want. We have the mailing address and the last name and the first name of the owner. This is the last name, and then there's a comma, and then there's the first name. And I don't care about the initial, so you can just ignore the initial. If he has a second name, I don't really care. Now you have the address, and you have the city, state, and zip code. Now, a lot of the times, this information will match the Excel spreadsheet, and which is the case here. So you will just write, off, you can copy paste it as well. I mean, I don't mind, but it's up to you. It's optional. And Bristol. And by the way, whenever you see that they match, you can just do this. You can just copy and paste it here. You know, it really doesn't matter, to be honest. You can just copy paste it, and the city, state, and zip will always be the same. But just double check. But it will always be the same. If this information, if these two matches, this information should be the same, because in this city there's only one zip code. It occasionally changes, but not too often. But just make sure to confirm that data. And if that is the case, you can, you know, for the if you go to the second record and you notice that this information is the same, you just will just do this. You know, so let's go. Let me give you an example. So let's go to 108 South Dallas. Okay, we go back. So you do Davis Dallas search. Clicking the account number, because that's the only way you can get there, by clicking the account number. And again, mailing address. So it's Grady Christopher. And now let's say that there are two names. Just ignore that. Just focus on Christopher. It really doesn't matter about the NKCD. Just ignore that. Just Grady Christopher, okay? Now as you notice, it was the same one. You know, the same address here. But now keep in mind, I'm paying attention. I'm seeing that it matches. So it's 108 South Dallas Avenue. It's Moore, Oklahoma, 73160. Okay. Now, please, and please, please, please pay attention to that. And as a matter of fact, instead of using the mailing name, use the owner name, which should be the same, but please do the owner name instead. Don't do the mailing name. I mean, it should match into, you know, it should almost match like 95% of the time, I think. But just to be safe, use the owner name, you know, Grady Christopher. Again, ignore this, and then ignore the second person, and then just put in, you know, the address and the rest of the information, of course. Now, please do not use this address. Do not use this address, because this is just the property address. It doesn't mean that it is the mailing address. So please focus on the mailing address using this information, and the owner name, use this, okay? And that's pretty much it. That's all you have to do. Now, there will be instances where maybe a company owns, and let me tell you this, it actually doesn't match all the time. So let's do this one is a good example, because a lot of times this one will match this, but that's not always going to be the case. Like, for example, this one, 501 Northeast 20th. You go back. And now you see that the mailing address is 303 West 4th in Helena, Oklahoma, and everything changes. Your street name, obviously, it's different than this. Again, you shouldn't be paying attention here. You should be paying attention to the mailing address. This portion is the important part. But let's say that the owner name, it's a company, like for example an LLC, construction corporation, or an Inc. company. You would just go back here, and if that is the case, you would just put in, for example, in the last name, XYZ Corporation. Okay, and you're gonna leave the first name blank. Okay, because I don't want it to be, there's no last name and first name, really. So just write the name of the company and on their last name. And again, please be very mindful. I mean, not this information will not always match this information. Sometimes it will change, like in this case. So here, as I mentioned, yeah, it's different. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, just feel free to reach out. Okay, thank you.